In fact, he was playing the bottom line last, I guess, December, and the system crashed. And and then we give him up to date, and gives you an idea of what he's working on.
Oh, Razor Ties got this record.
Yeah.
They're nice people. I met them. Graham Parker to do a song, and he gets Chrissy Hine to sing, and he does these tributes to various songwriters, usually the songwriters no longer alive.
But nice to deal with. And they're very professional, very on top of
They're
things.
young guys too. Remember, Ray?
They're young?
Well, young record presidents, 30.
They're like for Jimmy, Well done.
Little history.
Yeah.
We did an interview with George Martin. I gotta say, it was a phone interview, so what we have to do is create the video. Not easy. George does not like on-camera stuff. He's very fussy. And we're talking about, I did not want to talk about it, because I wanted him to inspire the youth of today to want to record and produce the importance of the raw elements first. Don't worry about your guitar in the studio first. Get the songs there. Yeah. Find someone who developed his work. So he says 40-track recording.
Right or something. And they went outside and they recorded with me.
Exactly.
Now, you're right,
Computers, there's a lot of electronics.
They click on the computers and the screens. No one knows how to interact with people anymore. It's all.
It's a shame. There was an episode of Twilight Zone. Microphone. It's got to be 30 years old or so.
He's got actually a nice one with his kids right now.
Two T's.
There's Jamie, there's Robin, there's Jimmy.
2, 1. Yesterday morning, as I'm watching the news, I heard Up, Up and Away right before going into a bumper, and I realized, wow, that song's 25 or 30 years old, and it's still there today. And the majority of the music that we're familiar with has lasted my lifetime, it's going to last my kid's lifetime, your kid's lifetimes, and theirs. When you were writing, was that a goal of yours to write stuff that would just last, or did you just write and not even think of that?
I have never really thought much about history. There's the expression about he always had one eye on history. Like there's certain people like that in public life. I just always wanted to be a songwriter, first of all. I wanted to be a good one. And I emulated guys that I thought, had the stuff, like Burt Bacharach and people like that. So I was always interested in good chords, good melodies, maybe less interested in lyrics, but we should start again. That wasn't very cool. So you should do a pickup on that.
Okay. Let's start that
I
one.
think it's pretty funny, actually.
We're lucky we not to share this going all the way back, and you'll fall over.
Okay.
Well, this will be the best part.
Oh, okay. So, no, I don't want to get into one of these things.
3, 2, 1.
So really, I was more concerned with chord structure and melody than anything else when I first started out. And gradually, I've become more concerned with lyrics, and I think more of a craftsman where lyrics are concerned. And I think that in relation, more specifically in answer to your question, that songs that have good chord structure and good melodic structure, they have a longer shelf life than more trite, more cliched kind of efforts. Like we're into an era of mediocrity, really, when it comes to that kind of stuff. And there's not a lot of respect for the traditions of, you know, of Cole Porter and Sammy Cahn and people like that. And I think that the young writer who, you know, wants his stuff to be around, you know, for a decade or a couple of decades or maybe even longer, he should be thinking about the things that made up the original standards. You know, great chords, great melodies, and you know, really, you know, witty, brilliant lyrics.
Well, I think that what's happened, not just in music, but in media, television, and film, the same thing is happening. Films have been made to make a lot of money fast, but then we're not going to see them in 10 years. Or we'll be able to buy the video in a year, and they're not creating Serling or Hitchcock or Ingmar Bergman where there's substance, and it's going to be there for a long time. What are your opinions that you can discuss without getting any of us here in trouble about the state of the record business, and if you could address the people in the business that are signing stuff that's not lasting for a long time, because eventually, I mean, the publishing, the catalog is worth something. It's going to keep generating money. Some of the bands getting signed today, or the writers that are getting signed, are going to make money for a couple of years, but then that back catalog isn't going to sustain itself for 10 or 20 years.
Record companies like to sell records by the ton. They're not, you know, with the exception of the old Warner Brothers label where Mo Austin and Lenny Waronker were like concerned with long-term development of certain artists and absolutely enjoyed presenting art, and you know, were proud of the music and proud of the people that they represented and that they created to some extent. Most of the rest of the record business is a marketing function. It's how many tons of this stuff can we move today, and what that's created is a situation where a long recording life is not necessarily to their benefit. If a record company has a Nat King Cole, they have to deal with a Nat King Cole. They have to satisfy his desires in terms of contractual stipulations and advances, and in a certain strange way, I mean, the bigger the artist is and the more longevity they have in that classical sense, the less advantageous it is for the label. And I think that they probably prefer to have a band that they can market like mad for a couple of years and then kind of discard and go on to something else. Because in so doing, they don't create an icon. They don't create a monolith that has to be dealt with. It has to be honored, respected, and so on.
How